What does it portend for the future, from your assessment?
It's extremely sad to lose a life on account of political support or political affiliation, or on account of the fact that I have a belief system. If I believe in an agenda of a particular candidate, and in my support, there are various ways that people can show support. You can show support maybe on account of, as you have debates and discussions, you are aligned to a particular candidate to the extent that probably you even, in your expression, the best way you express yourself is probably even tattooing yourself. It is your wish that, in support of an individual. And therefore, for others to believe that their belief system is better than others, your political affiliation is better than the others, I think it's quite unfortunate. And this, I think, is on account of the political intonations that have been built by certain leaders in our country who continue to indoctrinate, young people or supporters towards a position of intolerance that then has gone to the extent of even taking a life of Rachel Wandeto. It is unfortunate. I really stand with the family of Wandeto, Rachel, and the relatives and the community that lost that wonderful lady. I really mourn the loss of that lady. And I really pity those who did that heinous act. The other day, I had the chance to visit several prisons across the country.
Yes.
If in an event, and of those individuals who will find themselves behind bars for probably 30, 40, 50 years, or life sentences, and they're very young people, by the time you're in your second year, you come to your senses and realize it was not worth after all. Lastly, when I looked at politics of Kenya, there was one leader once said, don't keep these things in your lungs. I look at what happened in 2022. When we had particular political formations, who knew that we would end up having, for instance, broad-based government right now? So sometimes, as it were, and all the young people and Kenyans who are watching me this evening, I think for politics, let's take a position based on values or an agenda of a leader to that extent. Let's maintain peace. This is our country. You do not need to take a life of an individual on account of their belief system, of their political alienations or formation.
Right, and Okongo Omgeni, she seems to be lost in the shuffle, of course, with the clamor of the fuel strike that we saw, the protests that were ongoing. That story did not really gain much prominence as it stands. But, it is just an epitome of where the country is right now. I don't know, from your own assessment, if you can just give it an accurate appraisement as far as the tolerance is concerned, all the intolerance is concerned in the country, with the political heightened rhetoric that we get from, especially from the united opposition every day. Are we exacerbating the situation and building up a powder keg that is waiting to explode?
Yeah, I thought you would first congratulate me.
I congratulated you there, the Arsenal fan.
Tell my viewers I'm relaxed now that we have won the Premier League.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. We finally made it.
You finally?
We can now
so how did you celebrate it yourself?
Well, I was not in any public place where I would take videos with those who support Arsenal, but
so how do we know we are now?
I did my own quiet celebration with my daughter, who is a very strong Arsenal supporter. It was tense. It was a tense last extra 6 minutes, but we persevered and we made it. So Arsenal, bravo! You are the champions, 2025.
So we hope you are. You won't lose it for the next also 20 years. You can keep it.
No. We want to have it back to back. We want to have it back to back. 2026, 2027, it should be Arsenal again. Yeah, but that was really lovely. It's been a long wait. The last time I saw Arsenal win this championship, I was a council member at Law Society of Kenya. And my chairman then was Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi. And he was also a very, very passionate supporter of Arsenal. You can imagine that lad of about 22 years. It's been a long wait. Yeah, but that was really entertaining football for Bournemouth yesterday. And it also demonstrates that you don't need just to buy expensive players. It's about building a team of
nurturing,
passionate, young, talented players, and that is it. Talent won, not experience, not how expensive a player is. So that was good for football, and I really hope they can also win the Champions League when they meet PSG on 30th of May.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So
now,
too soon to lose it.
Coming back to what happened to Wandeto first, my sincere condolences to the family. We shouldn't see a life of any Kenyan lost on account of political differences. We can agree to disagree. You know, we can have serious arguments with my colleague here, Kitur, but when we walk out, we should be able to shake hands and have a cup of tea. My training as a lawyer, I was taught by my constitutional teacher, Kivuda Kibwana, that the cardinal rule for lawyers is that everything that you say in court remains for the court. When you walk out of the courtroom, you're all friends. In fact, when we started practice, we used to have very emotional arguments in court. But when we walk out, we had a tradition of going and sitting down and having a cup of coffee.
Yes.
If you watch debates in the House of Commons, I like watching the Prime Minister's question time. You see how combative members of House of Commons are, but they never take that personal. We can have parties that we support passionately, and our supporters should support our political parties passionately, but we should not turn that support to the extent where we want to become violent. I condemned what I saw happen to Senator Ososi in Kisumu, because that was an act of intolerance, and I condemn what happened to Singer Wandeto. That should not be allowed to happen in a democracy. You know, our constitution is really strong on fundamental freedoms and rights. And one of them is the right to express yourself. I mean, that's why you see people who support particular parties can wear a cape written UDA, can wear a t-shirt written Jubilee. You can see a border person with a jacket written maybe KANU, but that doesn't mean that if I find that guy in a bus stop, I shouldn't board that border because I don't like KANU. In fact, I should board the border and engage in a conversation, even try to persuade him to shift to my political party. That's how we should run our politics. We should not take it to a level where we turn it to be violent. But again, really we as politicians must lead from the front. We shouldn't make our political divide in parliament to draw a line. Is in like, if you belong to this side, then you will receive hatred from this side. We should remember, we are all Kenyans, Dibal. At the end of the day, every evening we retire. We retire as Kenyans. And Kitur is a member of National Assembly, I'm a member of Senate. But a time will come when I will either be former senator, former member of parliament, or late. But our children will remain. Indeed. Who knows? Tomorrow, Kitur is, Kitur is a bit younger, somebody else who is at my age. Could come to my house and say, I've come here to make a big announcement that my son is courting your daughter. And I will be happy if that person is from UDA and I'm from either ODM or Jubilee, whichever political party I belong, because that's how we build, tolerance within our politics. And that's how it should be. We know out there are families where you'll find that the wife is a Republican, the husband is a Democrat, but they don't butcher each other in the evening because they belong to different political parties. That is the culture that we should build. And I think, Dibal, even when you tell us that this particular region is a stronghold of this political party, that should not mean that I cannot go to that part of the country and sell my political party. I should be allowed to go there, sell the ideals of my political parties, of course using a language that is civil, and then I'm allowed to go, because it's about trying to convince. You know, why do we do campaigns? You do campaigns because you go to regions to talk to people, sell your policies, try to criticize in a very fair way the government in power, and offer yourself as an alternative. In that arena, there should not be room for us to butcher each other. If we get there, then we have lost it as a country. Yeah.
Right, and of course we can see one of the ticklish issues